Good night and welcome to Mindful Live 189. I am your host Nathan Springer. Thank you for being here. It is good to have you here. It is the 14th of February. A day that means a lot to some people. A day that means a lot to some people. It is Valentine's Day, So we won't be going for a very long live on Valentine's Day. I mean, how could you do something like that? We're just briefly running through some of these stories, seeing how they are linked, and we'll call it a night. You can feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nathan Springer, over there on YouTube. If you are viewing this on TikTok, we aren't over on Instagram tonight. Usually we stream live on multiple platforms, including Instagram, but tonight we aren't over there. It's just TikTok and YouTube tonight, so you can feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel Nathan Springer. Other videos are over there, nice conversations. If you like that kind of stuff, head over there and subscribe. So some interesting stuff that I said, you know what, I'm going to pop up on Valentine's Day and still do a little live talking about some of these issues. Some interesting stuff that I saw coming in to do with the news coming from down south. Rowley hails government to government cooperation in dragon gas deal. So I know a lot of us would be very aware that the dragon gas deal is in the works. The deal that we got the permission from Big Daddy United States to go ahead with. The US told us, yes, Trinidad, you and Venezuela can go ahead making your own personal deals among yourself that we gave you permission to do with the out of place self. But you know how the US runs generally in this world. This dragon gas deal, Dr. Rowley was speaking about that. Well, he wasn't directly referencing that, but the idea of that in the energy conference down in Guyana is that there is a possibility this dragon gas deal could have benefit to the entire Caribbean. And Dr. Rowley sought to establish to the people that were there in that conference the ability of Trinidad, because we already have infrastructure. Now, this dragon gas deal, and it was something that I spoke with the CEO of the TTMA in the previous conversation I have, which is on my YouTube channel. You can take in the entire conversation over 1 hour. We sat and conversed. Interesting topics, really interesting. You could head over there and take that in. That was something we spoke about, where the dragon deal provides not only an opportunity in and of itself, but it provides the framework for future opportunities where Trinidad and Tobago's natural resources, what we have inside of the ground inside of Trinidad and Tobago, might not necessarily be the thing we have to focus on. You see, we already have a head start in infrastructure. We already have a head start in expertise. There are many people in Trinidad and Tobago who are trained and have years of experience in the oil and gas sector and in the value added downstream areas of that. And we already have certain infrastructural projects in place. For example, and Dr. Rowley spoke about this in Guyana, there we have a refinery. Rowley also touted the mothballed refinery in Pointe-a-Pierre for those in search of a refinery. This refinery and its supporting infrastructure are available for restart, upgrade, and use on reasonable terms to any interested refiner or crude supplier, he said. So that's another avenue right there. And that's the whole idea that the dragon deal opens. The avenue that the dragon deal opens, where Trinidad and Tobago isn't the initial producer, the extractor of the resources. No, we could be the second stage in that. And it is possible to even focus that in a grander economic sense, where we do not even have to be as concerned about how much gas we have left in the ground. I like that idea, and that idea spoken on a Caribbean-wide level makes sense, where you could have that specialization. And to me, that's a lot of the benefit of CARICOM and the Caribbean unity that people have proposed over and over during the years, where a lot of the benefit has to do with each island being able to specialize. Specializing has the ability to increase scale. You see, if for example, I am a teacher. I teach. If I teach primary school maths, let's just see an example, and I'm good at that. I specialize in primary school math. If I teach that to just Trinidadian students, That may be what, a couple tens of thousands of students. But what if I could get to the entire Caribbean? That increases the scale of the business I could do in that. And though that scalability, the access to that Caribbean-wide scalability is access to a lot of extra money. Just by the way, a lot bigger market. And the Caribbean unity, it is tested sometimes. It is tested sometimes in how we deal with that. Because, yes, the idea of Caribbean unity provides that ability, but the idea of Caribbean unity provides some negatives too. And one of the negatives you see a lot of is in the dealings with Haiti. Haiti is in a tough position. Haiti is in a tough position. Recently, I saw that the chairman of CARICOM was speaking about sending troops over to Haiti. I suppose troops from multiple Caribbean countries going over to Haiti to try and stabilize things. Now, the thing is that those troops in Haiti now, sending troops to Haiti now, may be a bit different because it's not necessarily the same thing as the peacekeeping forces that were there right after the hurricane or the earthquake per se, because right now Haiti's main struggle is they're battling gangs. There are gangs in Haiti that want to take over, like take over as in rule Haiti like they're in control. So if you're sending troops over to Haiti, they may end up in active battle, heated battle over there. I wonder how many Caribbean troops who are accustomed just sitting down in their barracks and chilling, sitting down in their barracks and chilling. I wonder how many of those troops would be very willing to go over there to Haiti and risk their lives. But yes, there's talk about sending troops there, even as we see the Grenadian Prime Minister talking recently and saying, you know, they have to deport 15 Haitians. 15 Haitians that came to Grenada straight from Trinidad and Tobago, just by the way. The flight was from Trinidad and Tobago. Elefantin says 0. I wonder myself. Grenada to deport 15 Haitians. The Grenada government on Monday said it would deport 15 Haitian nationals who entered the island as a group of tourists on Sunday because immigration has determined that they would be a burden to the public purse. Prime Minister Declan Mitchell, who is also the Minister of National Security and Immigration, told a news conference that the French-speaking nationals had arrived here on a flight from neighboring Trinidad and Tobago. And the problem was, when the immigration officers searched them, they had no money. And if they had no money, that means they have no place, there's no way they could pay to stay at a hotel. And they have no friends or family that they can list on the island. So you're hearing this person has no money, they have no family on the island, no friends on the island, so they're going to come here to struggle. And the thing is, he said that because Haiti is a member of Caribbean Community CARICOM grouping, there are very specific and limited grounds that can be used to prevent a CARICOM national from entering a member state. Because remember, CARICOM nationals are supposed to be able to have some level of free movement among CARICOM member states. The problem is when you have a CARICOM member state who is really struggling, and if you have free movement, what you're going to have is nearly everyone from the struggling CARICOM member state wanting to move into the better off member states. That has always been the problem with migration. You know, when you have unimpeded migration, obviously people from less fortunate places are going to move into places that are more fortunate. And the reality of that is that nearly every place that has some level of good fortune, it's built on a scarcity model. Everyone cannot go there and get the same level. If everyone goes there, very likely it's going to crash, and then you wouldn't end up with some places with nice things and some places with bad things, which you could say is a bad thing. You'd end up with all places with bad things, and I think at least having some with nice things may be preferable. So that's just the reality. You have to police the borders, and if you have people that can come into the country who would just be, as it is deemed here, a weight on the public purse, a burden on the public purse, which is a brutal way to put it, but maybe reality. Good night. How long you start? Midas asks. I started about 20 minutes now, 25 thereabouts. We aren't going very long. It's Valentine's night. We're just here running through quickly some stories. You could head over to my YouTube, Nathan Spring over there on YouTube, if you want to see anything that might have been missed. But yeah, Grenada is looking to deport some of those Haitians. But that's the thing with the whole unity on a whole. Unity on a whole among countries is a strange thing. Looking at the news out from Ukraine right now. Unity. Ukraine seeks warplanes at NATO talks. Allies fret over ammo. So right now, Ukraine and Russia is still fighting each other. And Ukraine is asking for warplanes. Now, like, I don't even understand completely how people talk about rules of war in these kinds of things. Like, what are you talking about rules of war? Russia is fighting Ukraine. Russia is not fighting those other countries. But if those other countries give Ukraine warplanes, isn't that basically like Russia is fighting the other countries? Right now, the other countries are complaining that they are running out of ammunition. Europe is struggling to keep Ukraine supplied with ammo to keep fighting the Russians. When I look at this, and people are like, Ukraine is holding off Russia for so long. That's what is surprising many people, how long Ukraine has held off Russia. I'm like, I'm not saying I want Ukraine to fall to Russia necessarily. That I probably don't even have a dog in that fight. It might be irrelevant to me. But honestly, if we're speaking realistically, that's not Ukraine holding off Russia. That's Ukraine and the rest of the world holding off Russia. Like how does this whole thing work? How do you mean you send them warplanes? If you send them warplanes, how isn't that Russia being at war with everyone else already? How does that work? That makes no sense to me personally. It makes no sense to me. But what it does do is it provides a perfect bottomless pit for anyone who wants to sell arms and ammunition. That's perfect. That's perfect. There's an area in the world that is just sucking up hundreds of thousands of rounds of ammunition on a daily basis. Well, that's perfect for me because I just so happen to be making a lot of this ammunition. So if there's a place that it's like, if I am making, what could I be making out here? If I'm making slippers and somewhere just throws away slippers, they buy slippers to throw them away. For some reason, for some special reason, somewhere in the world enjoys buying slippers to throw them away. I would like that arrangement because as fast as I could make these slippers, they would buy it and they would throw it away. Perfect for everyone. And that seems to be a lot of what is going on in Ukraine there. But that's kind of the whole thing with the planning, with the coming together of countries, this kind of arrangement where they're all helping each other. You could wonder, does this arrangement really help Ukraine? Making Ukraine into a bottomless pit for arms and ammunition for coming years, does that help Ukraine itself? What is going to happen after 3 years, if that goes on for 3 years, and arms and ammunition are pumped into that region for 3 entire years, a region at war? Even if the war stops after 3 years, what do you think is going to happen to that entire region? It's going to be so saturated by so many guns with so many people, it may take decades to get back that region into any realm, any kind of semblance of stability. But that's something some people don't understand. Civilization takes time. It's difficult to build civilization. It's very easy to tear it down, but it's very difficult to build. What do you think about the Panorama Bacchanal? Which Panorama Bacchanal is that? It's the proxy war being waged against Russia that has extended the battle. Ukraine already lost war long time in a sense. But yeah, I'm not sure what Panorama Bacchanal you are speaking about in specific there. Yeah, the Ukraine very likely, even after this war has come and gone, it's going to remain a place that is a hotbed for all manner of violent activities. Very likely. The difficulty in building civilizations Go take a look at some of those US cities that engaged in rioting for whatever purpose, that engaged in rioting over the years, and see how long each riot took to recover from. One riot sometimes knocks down a city a peg or two for 20 years, 25, 30 years. Some cities, I believe there are some cities still struggling from riots in the 70s. They're still reeling from the effects of those. Civilization is much more difficult to build than it is to tear down. What Panorama Bacchanal? The poor logistics with the boat? Is that what you're talking about? The people that got stranded in Tobago? If that's what you're talking about, well, we'll talk about Tobago issues on tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day for Tobago issues. Tomorrow is Tobago Day. You know, we don't just squeeze in Tobago into random things. Tobago has its own separate place and category. We aren't like the central government in Trinidad. We don't belittle Tobago like that at all. At all. How can we belittle our sister island like that? No. We do not engage in things. Not over here on the Mindful Live and the Mindful channel. By no means. We own day. Yes, Tobago has its own day. Tyson, you know, coming into this thing. Wednesdays are Tobago days. What time tomorrow again? We're starting tomorrow around 9:30 p.m. 9:15 to 9:30 is our general starting time. And I will see you guys then. This has basically been all I have for tonight. It's a short, abbreviated live. You know, it's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. We're all going to head to the evening and go and have a nice little dinner, eat a cheesecake, eat some chocolate, light a candle or something, you know. Do the thing right. Do the thing right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Mindful Live. I hope you're educated, informed, or entertained. You can head over to my YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. I'm single, so stay on. Well, go proud looking, Midas. Go proud looking. If you're single, you may need to mingle. Alright, as I said, I hope you're educated, informed, and entertained, and I will see you guys again for the next Mindful Live session tomorrow evening. Roni didn't have any specials today. No, she did not. Well, I don't know, to be very honest. I don't know. Maybe she did. That's why she's probably not here. She's busy baking or busy doing other things. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next Mindful Life. Have a lovely rest of the evening. To you, to S&S Emporium and cheesecakes. Oh, yes, I'd like that. Roni has to deliver me some cheesecake sometime soon. Peace out, folks. Enjoy. Later.